11 Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the Simulation Football League.
Along with Charles Daugherty. Charles, how are we doing, man?
Doing great. How are you, Andy?
I'm looking forward to quite the battle between these two teams. London comes off of some interesting games, and Alaska also has looked interesting down the stretch. Two tough games for the Storm, but they have survived 2-0 and lived to fight here against the Knights.
Yeah, you couldn't pick a better team to start off the Simulation Football League day. Last week, London blew up the league. Reggie Streeter was just out of control. 455 total yards, 7 touchdowns. Really blew up the league, breaking records. And then on the Alaska side, they've had a couple bumps earlier in the season. They lost to Mexico City and Tallahassee. They're fighting their way back up the top to gain respect in the league. They've got 3 championship titles under their belt, and they're fighting for a 4th.
Alaska comes in at 5-2, just the 2 losses for the Storm. For London, 4-3, so just a single loss more. This a very key game between the 2 playoff teams, and it could affect a lot of teams down the stretch, Charles.
Oh yeah, all eyes are on this game. I think both teams are very hard to face. I mean, from a London standpoint, their offense is just on fire. On the Alaska side, they tend to be kind of on a balanced approach. So if you knock down the rushing gains and the rushing touchdowns, they can kill you with the pass.
So we are all set. Alaska wearing their red jerseys, white pants, and blue socks and shoes will kick it away to London, who is wearing the white jerseys, red pants, and yellow socks. Andy Hamilton, Charles Daugherty, along with Jeff Lowe on stats, and we are underway from the I in Alaska. Return here coming, and they will bring it out of the end zone, out across the 20-yard line, not much further to the 22. London's offense starts out, and it is pretty much the Reggie Streeter show, and you talked a little bit about it, Charles. Record-breaking last week.
Definitely record-breaking. Like I said, 455 total yards. The weight of the offense clearly rides on Streeter's back. Not only does he run the ball a lot, but he's also the #1 target in the passing game. So a lot of focus from the Alaska defense is going to be on shutting down Streeter. And if they do that, let's see who else on the offense can rise up.
We'll pick up 7.
Yeah, great blocking up front. We're going to see a big battle on the line there between the offensive line of London versus the Alaska Storm. They've got Alex Dominguez on the Alaska side. He's the career leader in sacks, and he is known to really wreck an offensive line and make it a bad day. So let's see what he does today.
Shotgun look here for Rob Roby. Streeter to his right will look to throw it. Will take his time, well protected, dumps it off, and nearly taken away. Alaska was there in a hurry. Frank Champion makes the deflection, and it'll bring up 3rd and 3.
Yeah, Frank Champion is a beast in the middle there. They're going to be riding on him heavily, trying to keep an eye on Streeter on that particular play. I'm not sure why he went in the middle like that. It looked like the receiver was blanketed. He had a wide open Streeter there on the swing.
Empty backfield for this 3rd and 3 play from the London 29, trying to keep this first drive alive. Roby going to take a shot deep down the field and almost paid for it. Evan Carroll was there playing defense. He was trying to hit hands, and it's incomplete. It'll bring up a 4th down.
Yeah, the secondary of Alaska, they're very solid. They don't get a lot of press, but they're pretty dangerous. I have a feeling that Roby's going to have a difficult time throwing it deep against this secondary.
4th and 3, and they will have to kick it away to Ron Cochran and the Alaska Storm offensive unit, led by Mr. Cochran, but they have used Optimus Klein, Jeff Como, Robert Merrill very much in the past couple weeks. The return will come out to the 40, so it's good starting field position for them. And Charles, I wanted to ask, which offensive weapon on Alaska do you think is the most dangerous throughout the season?
Well, it's Optimus Klein. I mean, I think from a number standpoint, I think he's the one of the leaders on the team. But when they're in a pinch and they need to get out of a hole, they always fall back on the senior Ron Cochran. There, he's really a beast, and he can attack a defense with surgical precision.
Three receivers wide here. Cochran takes a drop. Quick slant over the middle. Caught for a first down to the 46. Precision and timing converts to Jeff Como for a first down.
Yeah, get used to that slant because you're probably going to see it a lot today. Como is definitely dangerous on the inside like that. Most teams, when they throw in the middle like that, they're blanketed by defenders. But Alaska has the balance across the board where defenses aren't able to focus too much on the middle.
Twins to the top of the formation. Ron Cochran will give to J.W. Doyle up the gut. Doyle with a strong run gets knocked, but picks up 7.
J.W. Doyle, he's not putting up crazy numbers, but when he does get the ball, he's pretty reliable. I mean, he's got 7 rushing touchdowns. His yards per carry isn't quite as high as the other running backs in the league, but he can definitely get the job done when he gets the ball.
So it'll be 2nd and 3. Shotgun here for Cochran. Will look to sling it near side, and that is caught on the out route for a first down. Jeff Como got the feet down.
Yeah, it's like pick your poison, Andy. I mean, if it's not Como doing the slant or Optimus Klein down the middle, it's a handoff up the middle to Doyle. So, they're really going to have to keep their head on a swivel guarding against this Alaska Storm offense.
Trips to the bottom of the formation, 1 to the top. 3-2 look out of London's defense, playing the pass. Cochran will adjust the play. Out route here to the top of the screen is caught by Optimus Klein, a 5-yard pickup to the 27, and Alaska has moved slowly but determined.
Yeah, that's what they do. They pick you apart slowly, and then when you're not paying attention, they'll do a bomb to Klein or Como. One of the folks I'm going to be looking closely at on the defensive side is William Davidson. He had big week last week, 3 sacks. Let's see if he can disrupt that line on the same scale that Dominguez can on the other side.
Handoff up the middle, and that is the new running back, E.J. Minson, who picks up a few, but not enough to make this third down anything more than 4 yards.
Welcome to the league, E.J. Minson. That's I think you're going to be expected to do a lot here in your first game. They definitely spread the ball around on Alaska, and I don't think this is going to be the last time you're touching the ball today.
A Week 7 SFL signing for anyone at home who is interested or paying attention. You can get on the field too. All you have to do is join our Discord page. Flip out here to Doyle, is tackled short. DeAndre Washington, a very important tackle, makes the play at the 22, and now Alaska has a decision to make.
Yeah, great stop by DeAndre Washington. I think if I had to vote, I would put him way up there for defensive rookie of the year. He's really making a name for himself and is quickly becoming the leader on the defensive side of London.
I agree. Usually more in the pass game than the run. Let's see if they go to either of which here, or if they try and draw London off sides. Cochran working that hard count. Now down to 5 seconds, and Alaska most likely here is going to have to, and there they go, burn a timeout. And I tell you what, Charles, they tried it, but the London defense stood tall.
Yeah, definitely a roll of the dice. The defense of London has shown a lot of discipline on that first series. So, maybe it was a little questionable whether they were going to try and draw them off on that side and waste the timeout. But they've got them to jump before other teams, and they were expecting to work this time, but not so much.
4th and inches. They are going to call on Aaron Dahoud in order to kick it off, or not kick it off, excuse me. Try and hit this field goal here from 22. It'll be about a 38-yarder, 40-yarder. So the kick is up, and that is good. First points are broken. The Alaska Storm take a 3-0 lead over the London Knights at home. First drive converts to points. And there's a replay of the kick there.
Yeah, nice sand wedge down the middle of the fairway. That was a good kick. And
we will take a break and be right back. It's the SFL Network on 11 Sports. Okay. Can
An-
you can hear us now, right? Cool. And
Andy,
then
I'm about
go
a
ahead.
second and a half. I'm about a second and a half behind you, just so you know, if I'm slow to jump
Oh, in
in.
terms of gameplay? Okay.
Yeah.
Um, Welcome back to the Eye in Anchorage, Alaska. London lets Alaska have a even drive 60 yards down the field for a field goal. Not quite 60, actually, to be honest with you. Jeff Lowe has the stats. But that means that London is going to get the ball at the 20. Charles, offensively, their first drive stalled out. What are you looking for here?
Well, I think more of the same. You got to get Streeter involved, maybe more on the passing game, moving around. I would try and avoid the middle passes as much as possible, but again, Streeter, it's going to fall on Streeter's back. We didn't see a lot of them on that last series. Let's see what they do now.
One carry, 7 yards for Streeter. They'll feed him again off the right-hand side with blockers. Reggie Streeter into the open field, using his speed, now his power, and he's down to the 36. What a run from Reggie Streeter to flip the field.
Wow, I look like a genius on that call. The blocking up front was incredible right off the tackle. He had a great hole, and anytime you give a running back like Streeter that type of blocking downfield, he's going to make you pay. And again, it's a nightmare for a secondary player to come up against him in the open field.
A 44-yard run from Reggie Streeter sets them up at the Alaska 36, and that's one way to keep the drive going. 6:40 to go in the first. Here is Rob Roby, who will dump it out to the fullback, who was able to pick up just a yard on that one.
Yeah, it looks like Evan Wood, the new sign.
Evan Wood coming in week 7, a week 7 signing, and that's a good point to mention. If any of you sitting at home want to be part of this, have ever wanted to be a professional football player but just didn't have the chops, you have your opportunity now. All you have to do is head over to simulationfl.net, join our Discord community, and you can be a player. Reggie Streeter on the swing route here is only able to pick up 4, an interesting play from him, but makes it 3rd
tackle.
and 6.
Yeah, sorry to jump on you.
No, you're good.
That was a great tackle by Evan Carroll. I mean, rarely do you see a cornerback able to bring down a running back of Streeter's caliber in the backfield like that. Great tackle by Carroll.
3 receivers wide here for Rob Roby in the shotgun. 3rd and 6 to keep the drive alive. It's incomplete. No, it's picked off. Oh, an interception. A worst-case scenario for Rob Roby. Diving in at the last second to pick it off was Ryan Tobin, but let's check the penalty.
It's a clip.
And that is going to go against the Storm. The Knights accept. I don't know if it was on the return or whether it was before the interception. Alex Dominguez is the culprit, and let's see how that affects this next play.
I think it had to be after the interception.
And the defense for London is on the field, so it is going to be after the interception. Ryan Tobin's pick will stand. Rob Roby struggling, gives up the ball in the red zone of Alaska. So now the Storm pinned deep, up by 3. Cochran, slant route caught down the field. What a throw and catch on the first play of the drive, Jeff Como.
Yeah, he's definitely dangerous as he gets past that first down marker. It's hard to cover him. He's got a great burst of speed, and he gets a step on you or 2 steps on you. There's no way you're going to stop him from getting that ball.
And he found himself in plenty of room, Charles. You ever see many receivers that open?
No. I mean, I said earlier it's dangerous thrown in the middle, but he proved me wrong on that one.
So 3 receivers to the bottom of the screen, 1 to the top. I believe that's Minson in the backfield off to the left. 3-2 look out of London brings a late blitzer. Out route caught by Optimus Klein. Pickup of 7. And that's a good chunk on first down.
Yeah, in order for London to get the edge here with their defense, they're going to have to really put some pressure on Cochran. If he has plenty of time in that pocket, they move the ball around, they come out with different formations, and he's really going to make you pay.
Optimus Klein, one of the top 10 receivers in the SFL right now. Ron Cochran, deep drop, pressured a little bit, ends up throwing this one away, and that is a smart veteran play on second down.
Yeah, smart veteran play, but the defense did what they needed to do. That's how you get the edge on the Alaska offense.
London has 2 defensive linemen, William Davidson, the defensive tackle, number 59, and Alessandro Tomello, a Week 8 rookie who just signed with the team, 6'4", 275. Both of them supplying some pressure there, force Ron Cochran to get rid of the ball. So here it is, 3rd and 3.
Yeah, I think that was his first incomplete pass of the day.
Big time, especially with points on the board.
Yeah.
Cochran across the middle has the first down throw and catch. Big-bodied receiver, tight end Mark Myers just gets in the way, and that's letting everyone know there that you can go from couch to field. You know, all of these players make an impact no matter whether they're a star player or not. You can become a great player in this league. All you have to do is join our Discord community, which is much like a Slack, and you can become a player, create your player, and get on the field this week. As Cochran fires down the middle, another completion. Como again, and you called it earlier, Charles. They are running these slants.
Definitely running the slants, so get used to it. But once they break through that offensive line, I think they're going to cause some trouble. But so far, they've only been able to do it on one play.
That's Washington dropping back in coverage. Usually very good linebacker in the run game, but being forced to corral the passes here as well, since Alaska usually will rely on J.W. Doyle or not run the ball altogether. They give this time to Doyle, and Doyle up the middle will pick up 4 yards.
Yeah, they had they read the line. Excuse me, they read the run on that play, but Doyle's another tough running back to bring down. I think the good thing about Alaska's game plan is they don't forget about Doyle too much. Just when they're expecting pass, they do a handoff to Doyle, and he normally gets a pretty decent gain.
2nd and 6. They will give to Doyle on the sweep, and this time he is corralled. London was there in a hurry. Samuel Cassidy, the outside linebacker, making the play.
Yeah, they read that as well. They were able to get penetration on that offensive line, which is tough to do. But good defensive play there by London.
Matrix IX in the chat asking for some of the players' name. Optimus Klein is the receiver you're speaking about there. Welcome to the chat. Good to see you. As everyone in the chat at Twitch /11 Sports Next is chatting about the game, letting everyone know what they're seeing, and they're seeing a good deflection there from London to force this 4th and 7. What a way to rise up and get a stop.
Yeah, big stop, but those plays could be few and far between, and when you get a tip like that, I think in order to beat Alaska, you gotta bring it in and get that interception.
Dahoud is back on to attempt another field goal, and this would put Alaska up 6-0. Both of their drives would turn into points if this goes in. Last drive was 7 plays, 38 yards. This kick on the way, and it is good from 44, a 6-0 lead for Alaska. So Dahoud makes it 6-0, and we'll be right back on the 11 Sports Network. It's the Simulation Football League. Is 50. Bond.
It seems like Alaska has had the ball the entire first quarter. It looks like they've had 16 plays to London's 8. They've got 2 field goals out of London, but out of Alaska, and I would count that as a small victory for the London defense.
Yeah, London definitely has struggled on the offensive side. The big Reggie Streeter run, a 44-yard burst on the last drive, was really what gave them really good field position as Jeff Lowe is running our stats in the background. So I'm interested to see here. They're definitely still in this game by quite a bit. Roby pressured, though, and dropped in the backfield. Alex Dominguez gets there in a hurry, and they don't call him Big Sexy for nothing.
Yeah, Big Sexy. I believe that's his 143rd sack in the SFL. He's definitely making his presence felt on that front line.
One of the premier defensive linemen for anyone who's just tuning in. And for anyone who hasn't followed the SFL, the Alaska Storm, three-time reigning champions, have won 3 of the last 4 championships, and they are defending another one here. 2 losses this season, and pressure Roby immediately, and he throws a pick to the near side. Evan Carroll is there in a hurry, and Alaska has put London in trouble.
Yeah, so my advice to the London defense is they need to take a page from the Alaska defense playbook and put the pressure on the quarterback. You can see even to a veteran quarterback what you can do, what kind of mistakes they'll make if you have somebody up in their face.
London's defense has held Alaska to 2 field goals, but Alaska has never had better field position in this game than the 27-yard line. What a spot to start a drive. They are usually good for 7 to 9 plays per drive so far today. Cochran, first throw is outside, caught, good enough for 3 yards.
Yeah, that good coverage by the London defense. I think they're going to need to. This is the time when they need to rise up and get a turnover in order to take control of this game.
Well, and if they hold them to 3, Charles, I think that's another win considering where Alaska started here on the field. You can give up 3 as long as you can then score touchdowns on the other side. Deep drop. Out route here is caught by Optimus Klein right on the sideline. Does a very good job of keeping the feet in bounds.
Yeah, he's a pro's pro. He can kill you on that outside pass. There wasn't any defender around him for at least 5 yards, and he was able to bring that in. Good, crisp pass by Cochran as well.
Yeah, and it looks to me like London's playing a lot of zone here early, Charles, and what that's doing is giving Alaska the opportunity to run some crossing routes, some out routes, and really run across the face of those zones. Here's Doyle up the middle. He runs across the face of the linebackers and picks up 4.
Alaska hasn't been really going to any of the big plays here. They've been killing London by those little dink and dunk passes. The secondary's playing off the line, giving them at least 7 to 8 yards off the line, and Cochran's going to kill you on those short dumps.
2 receivers top of the screen, 1 to the bottom. They're going to spread London out. London in a 3-3 has 6 in the box to defend the 2 backs from Ron Cochran. They give to Doyle up the middle. J.W. Doyle forward for a first down to the 6-yard line, and Alaska's closer than they've ever been today.
Yeah, I think London's a little on their heels trying to figure out where Alaska's coming next, and this time they did an efficient, well-blocked run up the middle.
Time ticking down here in this first frame of play. Alaska has 2 interceptions, trying to turn the second one from Evan Carroll into points. Under center, they will give to Doyle off the right-hand side. Doyle stood up and dropped down at the 4-yard line. Nice play there on the defensive side for London. They have been stingy here against the goal line, Charles.
Definitely stingy, and Tony Adamson on that play was able to make a big stop.
Second and goal from the 4, likely the last play here of the first quarter as long as Ron Cochran decides to snap it. 2 in the backfield, down to 2 seconds. They will snap it. They give to Doyle, stood up and dropped, and we will switch sides of the field. First quarter in the books. Alaska on top of London, 6-0. The Storm in control. We'll take a break and be right back on the 11 Sports Network. No, I cannot.
One minute back, 1 minute. "45 seconds. "30 seconds. 25. 20 seconds. 15. And back to you in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
League broadcast on 11 Sports is presented by APM Music, Production Music Library, and Custom Music House. Brought to you in part by Fuel Beyond Imagination. Visit .net today. By Matt Doyle Designs, the official branding partner of the SFL. And by MediaTek Institute. Turn your passion into your profession. Aerial shots today brought to you by AirViews, united by drone. Visit airviews.com to see more drone footage, AIRVUZ.com. The beautiful Anchorage, Alaska is the scene for today's game. The Alaska Storm and the London Knights. Andy Hamilton along with Charles Doherty. Charles, third and goal, an important play for the Storm.
Oh, definitely. Big test for the London defense.
4-3 look out of the Knights defense. Ron Cochran to throw. Pressure brought by London. Throwing near side. Caught. Optimus Klein into the end zone. Touchdown, Storm.
Well, I think London did everything they could possibly do on that play. They're going up against a cagey veteran quarterback. He got pressure, check that box. But that throw to Klein in the corner was just on the money.
And they tried to jump the route too, nearly taken away by Evan Arthur.
Look at that.
I tell you what, Charles, he would have returned that the other way.
Yeah, it was just maybe a centimeter from the fingertips of the defender. That was just unbelievable pass.
Big Dog 1579 in the chat. Packer Fred 38053. Good to see you guys, as well as Alaska and DeHood will try and add the extra point. Kick is up and good. Now a 13-0 Alaska lead. And I tell you what, Charles, the turnovers for London have come back to bite them.
Definitely. It's a tale of two different teams. Alaska is, surgically efficient. Ron Cochran is off the charts as far as he's got a QBR of 124, 84.6% completion rate. Going up against London, who's still trying to get in a groove from an offensive standpoint. So I think they're going to need to do that pretty soon, or this game could get out of hand quick.
Returning from the goal line, out across the 20. The London offense will start at the 22. Let's walk you down the entire offense and show you some of the new players that got onto the field. Rob Roby is the quarterback from London. Reggie Streeter, the halfback. Evan Wood, the brand new fullback for this London team. Donnie Hands and James Hands are the receivers. Trevor Farrell, the tight end. You can join an SFL roster starting Wednesday or Thursday of this week. All you have to do is get into our Discord channel, which is essentially just a community for us to talk about sports, football, and the SFL. You can do so by heading over to simulationfl.net on your PC or mobile device and clicking Join Discord. And there you can meet everyone, including Charles and I, and say hello and be a part of the community and make a player. 2nd and 5 after the toss out to Reggie Streeter. 4 down linemen for the Storm. Roby will dump it out to Streeter again. Streeter makes one man miss, has a block, was able to spin out of another one, but will get tackled before the line. Alaska closed very quickly on the leading rusher in the SFL.
When you're going against Alaska defense, all of your blockers need to be spot on, and it looks like the tight end on that play missed the block and allowed the secondary to get past him, and this could have been a huge play by Streeter, but the blocking, I think, got in his way.
Here's a huge run from Streeter, still on his feet. Reggie Streeter to the 46. Have you ever seen more power and grace, Charles?
Yeah, that was just a testament of his own will there. He hit every defender on the Alaska side and was able to get a gain. Just unbelievable.
Alaska struggling to wrap up on the leading rusher in the SFL and the rusher in SFL history with most yards in a single game, breaking that record last week, over 400 yards in a game. Charles, I tell you what, I don't think I walk 400 yards in a week.
Yeah, well, maybe the same for me, but not sure he's going to be able to put that much on this game. But I think London needs to rely on him as much as they did last week.
They are definitely pounding the ball with him this series. They had gone to the air a couple times and got burnt. Roby 2 interceptions, 4 of 8 throwing the ball on 8 attempts. So now they're trying to feed Streeter. Still only the 4 attempts on the ground, 3 receptions through the air, as the chat there is letting everyone know and talking about Toto and how physical Eddie Gage says that Reggie Streeter is, and Eddie is exactly right. Just a power back with speed.
Yeah, well, Eddie should know. I mean, he knows his defense, so take it for gold when Eddie says something.
3 receivers split out. Roby in the shotgun look. Alaska looks like they're bringing pressure on the top side of that offensive line. They will bring it, and Roby able to dump and complete a first down throw and catch. What a grab there by James Hands with a defender essentially on his back.
Yeah, that caught the defense off guard a little bit. I believe they were expecting another Streeter run, but they need to keep mixing it up. I like the series so far for London. They got a decent balance, and they're getting a lot of gain.
Empty backfield here. Offsides, free play for Roby. Going to take a shot on a blitz. Throws the out route, and that is, I don't know. I think they marked him out of bounds on the catch to James Hands. But the offsides penalty will give him the yardage, and you like the shot from Roby on the free play.
Yeah, that's what you need to do on a free play like that. Smart play call by London. Good execution, but I think it's all for naught on the penalty anyway.
So the ball will move up the field, and Alaska did bring the pressure there. You talked about it earlier, Charles. They're good at that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, I think you could have a one-man rush with Dominguez, and he'd be able to get past any offensive line in the league. I mean, he's really a beast. But when you bring in the other guys like Champion and the rest of that, the linebacking core and defensive line, it's tough to keep your quarterback protected.
Roby stands in the pocket, will throw a quick out route here. That is caught on the near side by Donnie Hands. These Hands brothers, I tell you what, Charles, are very not necessarily heralded as a great wide receiving corps in comparison to the greatness of Reggie Streeter, but they are definitely a threat if you can get them the ball.
Yeah, they don't, they make the best out of it when they get the ball. I mean, their points per touch are pretty high for wide receivers. Not a lot of receptions, but when they do get the ball, they often make big plays.
Flipping it out here to Streeter. Streeter, tackled, cut down very nicely on the sideline there. Not often something you see. Usually it takes a couple guys to get to him, but Ryan Tobin, who had the earlier pick, makes a great one-on-one tackle.
Yeah, I believe he's tied for third as far as tackling as free safety. He knows what he's doing when it comes to bringing down running backs.
Bunch formation. I love the bunch formation, Charles. I can get in a little bit after this play. Roby under center will look to throw. Short drop. Fires a deep ball, and that's nearly picked off. He was trying to hit Trevor Farrell with a one-on-one down the sidelines with the safety, That's not why I love the bunch formation, Charles. I think when you have those three receivers up there, you can send them all different ways and really make the defense react on their heels. But Roby goes the other way to try and hit Farrell and can't get it done.
Yeah, the secondary of Alaska, they don't get fooled very often, and on this play we almost had Ryan Davidson getting his 5th interception of the season.
Kick is away for London, trying to get on the board, and they do from 36 yards. Jose Noe puts the ball through, and London has drawn within 10, 13-3 against the Alaska Storm. It's the SFL on the 11 Sports Network. We'll be right back after a short break. Charles, anything you want to come back out with?
No, not off the top of my head. I'm sorry. I was
Okay,
looking
you're
at
all
something.
good.
Yeah.
All good. Let's talk about the linebacking core in London when we get a chance.
Will do.
I'll tee up. Back here in Anchorage, Alaska, the I is the scene, the who is London and Alaska, and the what is 13-3, the Storm on top of the London Knights. Storm defending another championship here at 5-2, have had a couple rough weeks, and a good return will set them up at the 31. Ron Cochran has been elite, Charles.
He's off the charts as far as efficiency. As I said a couple minutes ago, I think his percentage is up in the 80s as far as completion percentage, and his QBR is up around 124, I believe.
Ranking 4th in the passing yards chart, just ahead of Matt Wilson, who's a Hall of Famer. 3 receivers wide. They give up the middle to Minson. Minson picks up 4, and he's facing some tough linebackers here as DeAndre Washington makes that tackle. Him and Slyn Shady are some of the best that you can get.
Yeah, as I stated at the top of the game, Washington is having a great season as a rookie, and I think he's pairing up nice there with Shady. They're tackling machines, and I think they can have the ability to shut down the Alaska running.
Besides that, Blake Craze and Clint Hendershot pairing that you saw might be the 2 best linebackers on a single team because Hendershot and Craze have been going crazy. But I tell you what, this Shady and Washington group is good. They're holding Doyle in check, but not enough to keep him from this first down.
Yeah, definitely not. And the scary thing is DeAndre Washington's only going to get better. He's 6'5" for a linebacker and 250 pounds, so that's a lot of man coming at you.
A play action, a good one from Cochran, and a nice throw across the middle, picks up 7 to midfield.
Yeah, another completion by Cochran. He's, they were able to get to him from a pressure standpoint. I don't believe they've had any sacks yet, but the offensive line is not letting the pressure get into Cochran at all, and it's showing here. He's basically able to do what he wants to.
This Wednesday, you can sign on to an SFL team, become a professional football player for no cost to you, as Doyle is going to break free on the right side. Nice run to the 42. Got a good broken tackle in the hole and was able to continue it up to the 42. And you could be one of those running backs making the breaks if you join our Discord.
Definitely. Yeah, we were talking about Streeter's power, and J.W. Doyle came back and said, "Yeah, don't forget about me." He's very powerful when he gets that first step through the hole.
Doyle coming over from the Oklahoma City Renegades. Play action here. They'll dump it back to the back. E.J. Minson, nice little way to get the ball to your new halfback off of a play action. Have you ever seen that before, Charles?
Not very often, but again, we're dealing with a high IQ quarterback there. He didn't have anything as far as his first couple of progressions, and was able to dump it off to the running back and got a couple yards gain.
Cochran today is 12 of 14, very efficient, 7 yards a throw with the 1 touchdown. Play action again here. Out route is caught on the sideline. Optimus Klein having quite the day as well. That his 5th catch.
Yeah, I think that play action is just enough to get a defender like Blake half a step behind. When you give Klein that half step, he's gonna burn you.
5th in receiving yards. That Matt Burnham and Gabriel Manning pair is deadly in San Francisco. Very much an aerial team, and this Alaska team has got Klein on their outsides. This throw is tipped up, nearly intercepted. There was a man there who could have attempted to make a play on it, but the deflection from Dean Maddox was good on the sideline.
Yeah, not the best throws that you see from Cochran, and fortunately, the London defense wasn't able to capitalize on it. But as we said at the beginning of the game, London's defense is going to have to, every time they get an opportunity to get that ball, they're going to have to bring it in and get the ball back to their offense, because they're not going to get many opportunities like that.
3 receivers wide here. Single back for Cochran. He's going to fire on a slant, and that is caught. Optimus Klein, nice route, was just open enough for Ron Cochran to fire it.
Yeah, he had a little window, and I will say a very small window, and Cochran was able to get that right in there.
Man, what a throw right over the head of DeAndre Washington and right before the hit from Evan Arthur.
Might even throw in a little pick action there, but, no harm, no foul.
Now going heavy set here at the 16. They're going to bring everyone into the box and look to throw it still. Cochran is going to have to evade some pressure, but won't evade the pressure there. He runs right into the defender who makes a play. Barry Scott, the defensive end, gets the sack.
Yeah, big play by Barry Scott. Made Cochran move, and once he started going up in that pocket, he was all sack.
So it's 2nd and 13, but Alaska has the receivers to make this play. London can't quite breathe a sigh of relief just yet.
Oh, yeah, and they're in field goal position, so it's, even though it's a field goal, it's still going to put them in a deeper hole.
2 backs in the backfield. Cochran to throw. Cochran out route there is caught by Doyle on the slide. Oh, a little bit of an interesting hit. Doyle's going to have words with the linebacker there.
Yeah, they're getting a little scrappy out there, showing some frustration maybe on the London side, but so far so good. They're not in the end zone yet, and this is a big play for London's defense.
3rd and 10. The Knights in a 3-2. Look like they might bring some pressure. They won't. Only 3 rushers. Cochran fires. Caught. Touchdown, Storm. Ron Cochran willed it to be so, and Optimus Klein was there just to make it happen. What a route. What a throw, though, right in between some pressure.
Yeah, definitely in the danger zone. Not a lot of space to get it into to Optimus Klein. I think he's been targeted 7 times, and every time Cochran threw the ball to him, he catches it. He's got seven receptions, 59 yards, and this is his 2nd touchdown. Quite a game for Klein so far.
And quite a game for Ron Cochran, too. Only the 3 incompletions so far. He has been able to do whatever he wants against this London defense in this first half, and they will add the extra point to make it 20-3. Alaska on top of London on an 11-play, 69-yard drive.
Yeah, this is a big series for London. They have to get something on the board here before we go to half.
You can follow the SFL on all social media channels, including Instagram at SimulationFL. Give us a like. And if you're there, make sure you follow all of the other SFL pages. Lots of teams have different Instagram pages. You can follow them. Keep up to date with all the news. We like to keep you in charge of what's going on. And I tell you what's going on the field. A huge return down the sideline for the London Knights all the way to the 39. And that will take us to the 2-minute warning. We'll be back after a short break. It's the SFL on 11 Sports. A huge return on the outside by Donnie Hand sets London up with some of their better field position today. Down by 17 late here in the half, trying to look for some points. They will hand it off to Streeter off the right-hand side. Streeter puts a man down. Streeter, 10, 5, into the end zone. It took one play, and Reggie Streeter makes his mark on this game, finding the end zone.
Well, the London special teams gave them a nice position on that, field position on that return. And the offense just took the ball and said, let me show you what we can do. And Streeter showed his power and his speed. Blocking was perfect, and he just answered up. And that's what London needed to do. We said they needed to be on the board by the end of the half, and here we go. We got a game.
A 39-yard touchdown scamper from Reggie Streeter puts him over 109 yards today in one half of football. And I think that just shows you the electricity of this back once in a generation.
Yeah, he's definitely a superstar, Andy, and he shows it every time he gets the ball. Entered
the league a few seasons ago, has been with the London Knights for 2 seasons now, has been doing his thing, and 6'2", 234. That's not a guy you want to get in the way of, Charles.
No, that's a Maytag refrigerator coming at you.
That's his new nickname now, is Reggie Maytag Streeter. We need to get him a sponsorship, I tell you what. 1:45 left to go in the second. London will kick off to Alaska, and the Storm have now a chance to double up, Charles, before the halftime break, down to 2 timeouts. But they have an opportunity here.
Yeah, the great news is that London
no.
Here we go.
Now some bad news. I don't mean to cut you off there, but
okay.
Robert Merrill is on the ground, and for Alaska, that's not a good situation to be a part of.
No, it's not. He's one of the ones they count on as far as from the receiving core. He was switched over from a running back last season. This season they rely on him on special teams and as a receiver, so that'll be a big blow if he's not able to come back. But as I was saying earlier, London responded. They got some points on the board. That's the great news. The bad news is Ron Cochran has a minute 41.
And the ball after the break is the other part that's a little nerve-wracking here. If you're London, you're asking a lot out of your defense. Quick throw, caught. Optimus Klein right up the seam. And it looks like they weren't covering him there, Charles. He was that open.
Yeah, that's pretty dangerous when you leave him that wide open. And it doesn't look like Alaska really has a huge sense of urgency here to get up on the line.
You got plenty of time here, 1:20 with 2 timeouts, and they do have big play ability with Optimus Klein. Now the bunch formation to the bottom of the screen, one back in the backfield for Ron Cochran, who will adjust the play at the line. Going to throw an out route to the other side. It's caught, and a first down. He stepped out of bounds just shy of the line to gain. Mark Myers, the tight end, was out there on an island.
Yeah, not sure why he ran out of bounds. He still had a couple yards, but maybe he was focusing on the secondary running down on him.
Maybe, I tell you what, maybe he didn't want to get pulled back in bounds and not stop that clock for his offense, because you can give up a yard as long as you stop that clock and don't keep that moving.
Yeah, I'll take a 2nd and 1.
Cochran, nearly threw an interception. It was read very well by Dean Maddox. He jumped the route but could only get one hand on it.
Yeah, he had the whole field in front of him too.
And those are the breaks that London really needs to get back in this game. They've let up a lot of points here to Alaska early, have answered with a Reggie Streeter run, have showed that their offense has improved across the stretch, but defensively a stop without any points would go a long way.
Definitely a long way.
2 backs in the backfield here, 3rd and 1. 12 inches to go, and Ron Cochran dropped in the backfield and sacked. There it is. William Davidson got to him, is going to spit some words at him, and London is going to get the stop.
Yeah, he definitely spat some words at him. that was a big stop for the London defense. So far, we got a great play on the special teams, on offense, and on defense. It's some great momentum to take into the locker room.
Davidson adding to his sack total. We track all the stats of all the players who are stars on the field, and you have your opportunity to join now, and then next season join as a star player and have your stats tracked and join in on these leaderboards. Fair catch here from London at the 24. 12 seconds, 3 timeouts. Charles, are you pushing this ball down the field, or are you
No.
handing it off and heading to the break?
Yeah, no, I'm heading to the break. I'm taking off the headset and getting a drink of water and walking in the locker room.
Well, I tell you what, 2 of those big Reggie Streeter runs have combined for 83 of his 100-plus yards. So I would give it to Streeter and see if he can break one. Maybe take a timeout after the first run and just give him another shot.
Yeah,
You never know.
they haven't been able to stop him, so, I mean,
Up the middle, Streeter only picks up 3. And, well, I mean, if he would have picked up 8 or 9, maybe you would have given him another chance. But
Right.
only 3, you just take it to the break. Halftime on the way, 20-10. The Storm on top of the London Knights. It has been an interesting game, back and forth. Ron Cochran has been the more efficient of the 2 quarterbacks in the passing game, but on the ground, Reggie Streeter has led the way. Charles, your thoughts on the first half?
well, I think near the end of the second half, London was starting to get on their feet and get gelled as far as on the offensive and defensive side, and they were able to show a big stop on the Alaska offense. They needed to do more of it. Like we said, they need to get Streeter the ball as much as possible. Alaska doesn't have an answer for him yet. I think from an injury standpoint, if Merrill is not going to return this game, I don't think the impact will be as big on the receiving side because they have Como and they have Klein and other options, but it could be pretty significant from a special team standpoint.
I agree. And if you saw there the time of possession, at the half, Alaska having double the the possession. I just really want to talk about the progression system, Charles. Double the time of possession as London, 14 minutes for Alaska, 7 for the Knights. A couple costly turnovers, as you're seeing there on the Evan Carroll interception, have really made this score what it is. London is definitely still in this game.
Yeah, and just as far as progression goes, you're always yelling at me to get my progression in, so I know why it's on the top of your mind.
Charles is the running back for the team I own in the SFL, and any of you have the opportunity in the future to potentially own your own team. It does take some time and some getting to know everyone in the community. Us owners are a tight-knit group of friends and brothers, and want to make sure that anyone we bring into the ownership group has the league's best interests at heart. But that is definitely an opportunity that in the future you can build your way to, and you do that through creating a player, getting in the Discord, communicating with everyone, as well as growing in a coaching and a scouting environment, and learning more about the game of all-pro football and how our playbooks affect the on-the-field product. And you can go from couch to field in under a week. This Wednesday and Thursday, new players will be added to SFL franchises. You can be a part of that group. All you have to do is head over to simulationfl.net and hit join Discord. It should be on the top bar there, and you can go from couch to field. AD Hamilton, Charles Daugherty, Jeff Lowe is on stats for us. The second half is underway as Alaska will return. Bringing it out across the 25, across the 30. That return will go to the 31. And I tell you what, Charles, I was just so excited for the second half. I couldn't wait.
I would like to hear that again. The second half, yes. Definitely the second half.
Lucky for you, Charles, all of the games are on our YouTube pages for scouting purposes following the game, so you'll be able to relive that forever.
Yeah, and I definitely lost track of what I was going to say, but all I can say is Ron Cochran had a great first half, and let's see if he can continue here in the second.
Oh, nearly continued with a catch to J.W. Doyle, but also an interception almost going the other way, and an injury report coming in from the sidelines. Cramps for Merrill means he may return.
That's it. Yep, cramps are, I guess, the one of the better options from an injury standpoint. Look at that, 8 for 8. 8 thrown to, 8 received by Optimus Klein. He's both him and Cochran so far are the standouts on the offense.
3 receivers wide. Cochran short drop, quick throw, wide open in the middle again. And what are you accounting this openness across the middle to, Charles?
I guess the London defense was expecting maybe deeper routes from Alaska, but Cochran's picking them apart with those short little dink and dunks in the middle and in the flats.
Two backs in the backfield. That's Optimus Klein there, who's extended on the end of the line. The give is to Doyle up the middle. Good enough for a first down carry. And I want to talk a little bit about this London defense here, Charles. William Davidson, Alessandro Tomello on the defensive line, DeAndre Washington and Slyn Shady as the linebackers. Evan Arthur, Dean Mannix are the outside corners. Jeff Malinishin and Nathan Blake are the safeties. Blake, the head coach for London, has put in a lot of work, came to the SFL convention a few seasons ago and is doing his part for this London Knights defense, but they let up a big first down there to the 44. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about the game planning aspect of the SFL, Charles, and how much work these guys put in a given week.
Yeah, definitely. It goes from scouting a ton of film, spending hours in front of the TV, looking at the recorded games, and coming up with some tendencies, submitting it to the coaching team, and building out the playbook. It's a lot of effort, and both teams look like they've done their homework so far.
Cochran looking to throw again. Pressured, avoids the first one. Fires off his back foot. Oh, and it's incomplete. Almost made the throw of the day. And we're just getting started, Charles. SFL action all day on 11 Sports. But have you ever seen anything like that?
No, again, showing some veteran moves, but London's doing what they need to do. It shows when you get some pressure, even on a future Hall of Fame quarterback, that he's going to make mistakes. So he was able to get that off, and good planning so far from a London standpoint.
If you are new to the SFL, you can stick with 11 Sports all day today as you look there across the day. Multiple games, multiple good ones as well. Atlanta and Queen City, Vancouver and Tallahassee, some great games on the slate as Alaska picks up another first down. I tell you what, right across the middle, they are just carving up this London defense.
Yeah, they're giving them, 8 to 10 yards. They're giving Cochran wide open wide receivers, and London needs to adjust to that. I think they need to bring the defense up close to the line and keep trying to put some pressure on Cochran.
First and 10 from the 32. Checking out the chat, Liam Crowder as well as Mighty RX. Both team owners are in the chat. Cochran looking to throw, will flip it out to Doyle on the outside. J.W. Doyle is able to pick up 9 on the throw and catch. As you see there, plenty of people in the chat. J.W. Doyle, Ice Gervin 44, Jeremy Vega, Cheeseburger Rivers, Ray Iniola. So plenty of people chatting about the game. If you want to join them, you can head over to twitch.tv/11 Sports Next and chat about the game. Let us know that you're new here watching, and we'll give you a free shout out live on air. Cochran, quick throw across the middle again for a first down. Optimus Klein, and London needs an answer to that route right there. It's just the one route that's really been troubled on this drive.
Yeah, it's that slant in the middle. It's they had the 2 wide receivers go out to the sidelines, and it looked like the zone coverage was drawn out, and Optimus Klein had wide open in the middle. I'm sorry, that wasn't Klein. Yeah, it was.
No, it was.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And that's what I was going to say was, it's not like it's the 5th or 6th receiver on the chart who's making that catch. It's usually a first or a second receiver. Like, there's only, especially with the injury, there's only 1 to 2 receivers out here. You got to keep track of where they are. Cochran check down. Minson is going to pick up a yard. He has been good in that check down game today at saving Ron Cochran when the pressure comes.
Definitely. I mean, he's doing what he needs to do. He just does that initial block and then goes into this as a safety valve when everything's closed downfield.
3 receivers, bottom of the screen, 1 to the top, 2nd and goal from the 6-yard line. 3-2 look out of the Knights. Let's see how many pressure they bring. They will bring 4. Quick throw, quick catch, quick touchdown. Ron Cochran hits his receiver and is able to strike for 6 more points. Jose Galliano makes the catch.
Jose Galliano. Looks like they sent all the receivers on a slant route there. That was a great pass by Cochran. I mean, the defender did everything he could to keep the ball from getting into the receiver's hand, but the ball placement there was just incredible.
Lead is extended. Alaska is able to punch the ball into the end zone. A long drive, 10 plays, 69 yards. And Alaska is able to put more points on the board on the opening drive of the third quarter, which has eaten about half of the time away here in the third frame of play. DeHood's extra point is up and good. It is going to be 27-10. The Alaska Storm on top of the London Knights, the Simulation Football League, presented by APM Music, live on 11 Sports. We'll be right back. Back in the eye, the Alaska Storm have the lead in hand. The London Knights will get the ball back here, still within striking distance early in the second half of play. Kick is away. Saw one big return here from Donnie Hands, but this one will be kneeled in the back of the end zone. A good kick from DeHood will set London back to the 20. And Charles, their offense got some rhythm near the end of the second half.
Yeah, they're going to have to do it again. The Alaska Storm offense is in a groove, and when they get the ball, they hold on to it for a long time. Every one of their drives is at least 10 plays, 70 yards down the field, and they take up a lot of time on the clock.
Give to Streeter off the right-hand side, swarmed by defenders, tackled in the backfield by Evan Carroll. Alaska was prepared for that one. I'm sure Max Paul went over that play in the locker room.
Yeah, they were expecting that on first down, and the secondary of Alaska, as I said before, and I've said often, they know how to tackle.
4-4 look out of this Alaska Storm defense, dropping the safety down on the line. We'll see what they run out of it. They're going to blitz the safety. Roby, deep shot, caught down the middle of the field, and that was a great opportunity to take a shot. James Hands makes the catch. And I tell you what, Charles, against that 4-4, if you can find a couple deep plays, you can really stretch that safety.
Yeah, definitely. And that was a great pass by Roby right over the defender there, and caught him by surprise. I mean, that's the great thing when you got a running back like Streeter in the backfield and everyone's keyed up on them. On him. You can let a play like that slip and make a big gain.
4-4 again, and I think Roby sees it. He's going to adjust the play at the line. Quick drop, quick throw. That one is caught. A good 7-yard gain there to Donnie Hands. And when Alaska drops in that 4-4, they leave that free safety susceptible to having some receivers. If you can run 2 or 3 deep routes at a time from that 4-4 defensive alignment, you can really create some mismatches.
Yeah, and now they're here they are at 2nd and 3, and they have their whole playbook open now. A lot of flexibility when you're in that. You got that type of field position.
3-4 this time out of Alaska. The give is to Streeter off this near side with a block. Reggie Streeter turns back inside, and I tell you what, he should have stretched the defense closer to the sideline, and he would have had the first down.
Yeah, he would have had the first down and more, but it just shows the speed, the closing speed of the Alaska defense. Blocking was decent off the snap, but the defense closed pretty quickly.
The fullback in here making plays. Evan Wood on the blocking. Gets another block, but Streeter stood up and dropped shy of the line to gain. And I tell you what, Frank Champion came up the middle with a hurry. Came over from Vancouver last season. Has been making plays in Alaska.
Yeah, he shows his skill there. He was able to get a good read, got off the fullback block, and was able to bring Streeter down behind the Chief.
I tell you what, Charles, I think Frank Champion might be one of the more underrated linebackers in this SFL. Has done a very good job and essentially just a worker. Does what he is asked to do, doesn't do too much more, but doesn't do anything less than what is asked. 27-10, the Storm get the ball back. It's the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music. We'll be back after the break.
stop bringing it up.
Back in Alaska, 27-10, the Storm over the London Knights. They got the ball back here after a stop. And here's the throw from Cochran on first down. Out route here to Doyle. Doyle against the linebacker has the first down speed. And that is an interesting matchup there. Slyn Shady against J.W. Doyle. The fullback wins out on that one.
Yeah, Doyle is quietly having a decent game. I mean, he's not blowing up from a number standpoint, but when they give him the ball, he normally makes a positive gain out of it. He's got 4.8 yards per carry, 4 receptions for 14 yards. Again, he's not blowing it up, but he's doing what he's asked, and he's doing it well.
1st and 10, new set of downs from the 29. London bringing a little bit of late pressure. Quick throw from Cochran is good for a 6-yard pickup. Hits Robert Merrill, who has returned to the game.
Well, that's good. He shook off the cramps, and now he's back in the game. And the danger here is Alaska holds the ball for a very long time, takes the chunk of time off the board, limits the scoring opportunities for London. But the other thing is the London defense is going to get winded out there if they keep doing this.
Offsides gives a free play to Cochran, who checks out to Minson out of the backfield. And Minson fires forward and has first down yardage. The offsides play might be accepted just to give them a little bit of extra yardage. But Minson with some grit there to continue to push up the field, Charles.
Yeah, and every time you see Minson make a good play like that, the rest of the league starts having the nightmares of last season when they had Merrill and the fullback. Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting his name. Williams. Sorry, that was a 1-2 punch, and I believe they're probably going to try and build something similar here in Alaska this season.
Yeah, for those of you who are new to the Simulation Football League, Jason Williams and J.W. Doyle essentially flip spots. Doyle coming here to Alaska, and with a big run right on cue, picks up 7. Doyle came over to Alaska, and Jason Williams flipped to go be the halfback for the Oklahoma City Renegades, taking the spot of J.W. Doyle. There are no trades in the SFL, Charles. We like to allow players to play where they want with whatever team and friends they want. But they pretty much flip spots in the offseason, and so far Doyle has been doing his thing for the Storm here as they feed him again up the middle, and he picks up another 2 yards.
Yeah, I have a sneaky feeling that Doyle's numbers as we get close to the end of the season are gonna get right up there. I mean, he started off a little slow. I think he's starting to get his groove, and if he starts kicking it in here in the next couple games, look out SFL.
When the switch from halfback to fullback definitely, I think, contributed to that. Doyle had to make an adjustment and become more of a power runner as opposed to speed, and he gets stood up and dropped there. Would have liked to have a little more speed to the outside. Great job by the London defense coming up to make the play. Samuel Cassidy, that's his 2nd tackle for loss. He was there in a hurry along with the outside cornerback, Dean Maddox.
Yeah, big stop by London. They get the ball back to their offense, give them another opportunity to get on the board. The defense is doing what they need to do. They were able to stop that scary Alaska offense that's sucking up the time.
Coming after the punt, almost got to it. What a pressure. And now the return will have a little bit of a chance out to the 18. And, it was interesting that they were doing that. We're going to take a break and be right back. It's the SFL on 11 Sports, presented by APM Music. Late in this 3rd quarter, early here going into the 4th quarter will be what comes next. And London has the ball back, down by 17. They got this 3-4 look against them, and Rob Roby will change the play at the line. Reggie Streeter is the lone back. Roby to throw, pressured, dumps it off, and that is a first down catch made by James Hands across the middle to the 29. And I was going to talk a little bit, Charles, about Reggie Streeter and his efficiency, and they've gone to the air here consistently across the last 2 drives, though.
Yeah, they're going to need to bring him back in, I believe. I mean, even if it's a pass to him, I think having him out there keeps the keeps the Alaska defense honest.
Roby, 5-step drop. Out route there is incomplete. They are going to rule James Hands out of bounds. Had the catch, just didn't have the feet in bounds. And I agree with you, Charles. I think the score looks a little bit worse than it is, down 17. Oh, but London
Here
here
we
is
go.
going to risk the timeout and challenge here that the feet were in bounds.
That was the first challenge of the game, I believe.
First challenge of the game. Stripes will head under the hood and see what we saw. I thought he was in on
Yeah, it looked like
first
he
look.
had at least a foot in, yeah.
Let's take a look here from our replay team. And there's the foot. You only need one in the Simulation Football League. Let's see if Ref 62 believes that he had the foot in. And he did. Good challenge from Gerald Smith. Will give London a few more yards. And I'm always hesitant when I'm coaching to throw the flag there on those type of plays, Charles, because it's so short of a gain.
Right.
Is it even worth it? You know, when we're talking about first downs or touchdowns, definitely
Basically,
challenge.
does it impact the outcome of the game? I mean,
Right, you picked up 4 yards. You risk your timeout. Luckily for London, it is accepted as the update, and they will move forward. Handoff here, Streeter with some room. Streeter, a first down run, averaging 11 yards a carry coming into that run right there. Another first down, and you talked about it, Charles. They got to continue to get him the ball despite being down 17.
Yeah, when he makes a run like that on the next play, it gives Roby some options. He could hand it off to Streeter again, or if he does decide to pass it, I think his receivers have a better shot of being open when they're also keying on Streeter.
Yeah, and I hope that London isn't looking at this scoreboard thinking that it's insurmountable and they have to throw every down. You're still early here in this second half. You still have a whole frame to go. Flipping it out here to Streeter with a block.
Wow.
Streeter, the block gets free. A second block, and Reggie Streeter's up to the 38. Wow, talk about that lineman who pulled out and was able to get not 1 but 2 blocks. What a play by him.
Yeah, I think that was Cliff Baston that opened up the block there on the outside and knocked one guy down, and he wasn't done. He's kept running down the field. That's what you want your offensive lineman to do, and he executed it perfectly.
Great play by London, pulling the lineman out to block for Streeter. There's a look at his yards, 123 on the ground, 36 through the air on 5 receptions, averaging 7 through the air and 11 on the ground. Reggie Streeter has played his game, but London still finds themselves down. Roby fires, caught across the middle. What a throw and catch over the top of the defense. Nice play by London, and they are in the red zone courtesy of James Hands.
Yeah, a big play by London there. Good route run by Hands. As we said earlier, the balance playbook here is keeping Alaska on their heels, and they're showing that London can pick away at some of their weaknesses.
End of the third quarter, we will step aside. 27-10, Alaska on top, but London within striking distance. The Simulation Football League, presented by APM Music. This afternoon's Simulation Football League broadcast on 11 Sports is brought to you in part by Nation's Best Football, helping NFL, college, high school, and youth players to help hashtag secure the bag. By ScoreStream, official live scoring app of the SFL. By Sector 6, custom esports jerseys and apparel and the exclusive SFL shop provider. By SpyGoat, dedicated to the craft of audio. Aerial shots here of Anchorage, Alaska, brought to you by AirViews, united by drone. Visit airviews.com to see more drone footage. AIRVUZ.com. A fourth frame awaits us. We've switched sides of the field. London has the ball, looking to strike. Two backs in the backfield. Andy Hamilton, Charles Doherty on the call for you today. Jeff Lowe on stats. Handoff. Reggie Streeter up the middle. Only picks up two. Alex Dominguez there for the tackle.
Yeah, big Alex Dominguez strikes again. They're going to have to keep him in check here if they're going to keep driving against Alaska.
Look at Rob Roby's numbers. 129 yards. The two picks today. Would like to find his way in the end zone to kind of balance that out. Has no touchdowns and a 52.4 QBR. Handoff Streeter. Streeter stood up and dropped a one-man tackle and a beautiful one on the inside by Jason Julian.
Yeah, this next play, it's a big play for the Alaska secondary. So far, I think they've had the edge against Roby, and they're really going to have to lock down here. I think Roby's going to try and get it in the end zone on this play.
Davidson and Carroll, the two corners. Tobin and Francis, the safeties. They give to Streeter off the left-hand side with a block. Streeter, a second block. Reggie Streeter into the end zone, powers his way for a London Knights touchdown. What a run.
Yeah, great run. No pass whatsoever. I was expecting a pass all the way. Maybe Alaska was as well and got caught by surprise. But the blocking downfield, as we've seen in other plays for London, is spot on, and they were able to give a great opportunity for Streeter to take it into the end zone.
Trevor Farrell made a good block on the play, along with a lineman who had booted out. Farrell not involved very much in the passing game today, just the two targets, no catches for him, but does his job in the blocking game. And an 8-play, 82-yard drive converts to 6 points for London, and they will try and make it 7. The kick on the way and good. 17-27, now a 10-point ball game with 10 minutes to go in the fourth.
Yeah, we've got a great game here. 10 points. That can be overcome pretty easily.
And Reggie Streeter adds to his high rushing total for the season. You look there, in terms of the rushing list, Charles, he is just blowing away the competition this season. Yeah,
it's incredible. He's got, looks like 500, maybe 550 on the next guy down.
And that's not even including today's games. All stats for today's broadcast will be coming into the week, not including the week's games. So, I mean, Reggie Streeter just continues to cement himself in the MVP race, Charles, heading towards the award ceremonies that we have at the end of the year, where we crown MVPs and Offensive Player of the Years, and all the same way that all the other leagues do. We want our players to feel rewarded for their on-the-field accolades.
Yeah, he's definitely got my vote so far, and on the other side, on the London defense, I think Washington's got my vote for Rookie of the Year.
Throwing outside, incomplete, in and out of the hands of Jeff Como. Nice defense on the sideline there by Dean Maddox, who makes a tackle immediately and really made Como have to try hard to make that grab.
Yeah, more of the same. That's all you can say. I mean, I think London knows what they need to do, and they're doing a pretty good job executing it here so far in the second half.
J.W. Doyle for Alaska, 12 attempts, 50 yards, 4.2 yards per carry. They will give to him off this right-hand side, and Doyle fights forward, is able to pick up his average of 4 to the 32. It'll bring up 3rd and 6, though.
Yeah, I'm sure Cochran would want something a little bit better than 3rd and 6, but I think they need to keep giving it to Doyle and to keep running the ball, I guess is my point, because just like on the London side, it helps Cochran when it comes to the passing game as well.
Malinchin, his 5th tackle. Here goes Ron Cochran. Going to take a shot down the right side. Well defended. He was step for step with him, and Dean Maddox makes the play on the ball, and London is going to get the ball back. What a mirroring of the route.
Yeah, that was great defense by Maddox there. He read the play right from the snap, was lockstep with the wide receiver and was able to bat the ball down.
So London will get the punt off of Alaska. And Charles, that's the one thing about the way that Alaska has built this offense with their stars is that a lot of their stars are receivers, and their quarterback, J.W. Doyle, kind of takes a back seat to that side of the offense. So when they get up in these games, sometimes it's hard to abandon the pass game and, keep it on the ground. So up 27-10, they've really continued to throw the ball, and to their discredit there, that drive falls apart because of it.
And it kind of turns their game plan from a balance standpoint upside down. They need in order to be balanced, you're going to need to give the ball to the running backs, and we haven't seen that so much here in the fourth third, for that matter.
On the other side of the ball, have seen a lot of good runs from their running back, but Roby will throw here. Deep drop on 1st and 10, fires deep down the field, tipped up and incomplete. Was trying to hit Trevor Farrell deep down the field, but A.J. Francis was in the zone for that one. And I tell you what, it looked like it might just not have had the arm, Charles.
It doesn't look like the best of throws there, because Farrell had him a couple steps and maybe a little bit more on a trajectory standpoint. It would have been right in his bread box, and he would have been wide open for all the way into the end zone.
9:10 to go here in the fourth, 2nd and 10. And, I think, to be honest with you, Charles, every 3 plays, there should at least be one time where Rob Roby has the ball. Just to try and get him involved, whether it's on the ground or through the air, cut into that yards that you need, because now on 2nd and 10,
Yep.
Roby has everyone spread out, pressure coming, throws a beautiful throw across the middle for a beautiful catch and a big first down for Donnie Hands. Forget what I said, Charles. Rob Roby is throwing rainbows over here.
He got the ball right in between Alaska, Tobin, and Davidson. That was an unbelievable throw. I thought it was going to be an interception, but
and right in front of the ref. I tell you what, that was a third obstacle that Rob Roby was throwing in between, and that's why this veteran is fighting his way back here. 15 of 21 for 156 yards today, and they will continue to go spread out. I tell you what, Gerald Smith, the head coach for the London Knights, is confident that Roby can get it done. And a wide open man into the end zone. A breakdown in coverage results in a James Hands touchdown for the London Knights.
Definitely a breakdown. There's no way a receiver gets that wide open without somebody on the defensive side, dropping their assignment. And that was clear on that play. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just going to cut in and actually disagree with you. It wasn't a breakdown in coverage, believe it or not. Alaska was running the 4-4, and if you saw there, Evan Carroll passed him off to the safety because Carroll was staying down to prevent a Reggie Streeter screen. Reggie Streeter runs a lot of screens in the SFL. One of the way to stop him is keep those corners in the flats, but when you do that, you open up the deep throw. Rob Roby and them have been working on it all day long. They finally get one to hit there and add 6 points to the board. 38-yard touchdown pass for London draws them within 3. It's the fourth quarter of the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports. We'll be right back after this break. Back here, I tell you what, that breakdown on the defensive side for Alaska, just the right play at the right time for London, and now the Alaska Storm only hold on to a 3-point lead.
Yeah, this is the time. Alaska's going to have to answer. So far, London's got all of the momentum on their side, and it's pretty scary what they've been able to do with the ball the last 2 series.
1st and 10 from the 29. Under center, Cochran looking to throw, protected well. Now the pressure breaks down, and Ron Cochran goes down. A big sack from the London Knights, and what a time. Malcolm Reynolds in the backfield.
Yeah, they're doing what they need to do, executing perfectly. You got to get in Cochran's face and bring him down, and well-executed play there. London's got Alaska on their heels. Let's see how they answer.
Jeremy Vega asking, how did London score? It was a big 38-yard touchdown pass to James Hands, which puts London within 3 with 8 minutes to go here in the fourth. Cochran, deep throw! He's going to answer! Optimus Klein is untouched, and down the sideline, he's into the end zone. The Alaska Storm respond in a big way with big number 88.
Yeah, definitely. That's what they did. They answered. Klein was wide open. He looks like he's got, that was his 10th reception, 161 yards, 2 touchdowns. So far on offense for Alaska, it's the Cochran-Klein show.
A 76-yard touchdown bomb right over the head of Evan Arthur, and Alaska pulls just far enough away. They look like the old man with the dollar bill on the fishing line, Charles. Oh, you almost had it.
Yeah, I correct myself. That's his 3rd touchdown. I think I said 2.
What a catch. And Optimus Klein, one of the better receivers in the SFL, just got away from the defensive back there. Kick is on the way and good. It's going to be 34-24. Still a 10-point game, but plenty of time on this clock, Charles.
Yeah, plenty of time. And so far, in the last 2 series that London, when London had the ball, they executed it perfectly. They had the Alaska defense on their heels, and let's see if the Alaska defense has made any adjustments.
Alaska will line up to kick it back to the London Knights after a big Optimus Klein touchdown catch. Ron Cochran, 1 play, 76 yards, and now the Knights will have to respond. They're going to bring this one out across the 20, angling a spin move and a nice return out to the 26. I tell you what, Donnie Hands has looked good in the return game today, Charles.
Yeah, given setting up the offense and good field position there. So maybe this series, like you stated on the last one, that they do, a little streeter up the middle and then try and fool them on the bomb like they did last series.
When the key there is you got to will Alaska into the 4-4. Right now they sit in the 3-4, which obviously with the 2 safeties dropping is way less dangerous. Flipping it out here to Reggie Streeter. 1 man immediately hits him, and then 2 men come to clean it up. A 4-yard pickup, and Streeter's been better in the pass game when there's a blocker out there in front of him.
Yeah, I didn't get any help on that one. It was just him against the entire Alaska secondary, and on this particular occasion, the secondary got the better.
4 down linemen, now a 4-4 for Alaska. An opportunity here if you can take a deep shot. 2 backs in the backfield. Streeter with the fullback, Evan Wood, in front of him, and Streeter is blown up in the backfield, a loss of yards.
Yeah, that was Dominguez blew that up. he had left Streeter with nowhere to go and just dropped him like a sack of potatoes in the backfield.
Potatoes. Roby now 3rd and 8. And Alaska looks like they might be running some bump coverage on the outside. From the 28, Roby dropping to throw. Pressure coming. Hit as he got rid of it. It's not going to go down as a sack, but the pressure caused an incompletion, and Alaska gets the stop. Charles Walker III on the hit.
Yeah, Charles Walker III. It looks like he launched himself from the line of scrimmage and gave Roby no time whatsoever to get rid of that ball.
4th and 8. The London drive stalls out. They're going to choose to punt this one away, down by 10. Their defense has got some stops, but on the last drive, a big hole gives Alaska 6 points. What do you think about the call, Charles?
Well, I mean, it's the offensive. The call was okay. It's just that the offensive line wasn't able to provide protection.
Return here from Alaska, and Robert Merrill will return it out to the 37. Didn't get much more than that. What do you think London's going to have enough time to get the ball back here and get 2 scores, even if they get the stop?
Well, I think they can if they've been playing at a very high level last couple series, except for that one breakdown to Optimus Klein. They're going to have to, they can't drop back into coverage. They need to be uptight and they need to do some pressure.
Two backs in the backfield here. Cochran had plenty of clean pocket to throw, and he gets J.W. Doyle for a 3-yard pickup to the 40, coming up to make the tackle Slim Shady along with Evan Arthur.
Yeah, 2nd and 7. The clock's ticking. I mean, this is right in Alaska's wheelhouse. They're going to try and hold on to the ball as long as possible.
And this is where those out routes will kill you, especially if they get tackled in bounds. The short routes and the short gains and the slants, even, Charles, is really dangerous here for London. They're going to need to stop this clock at some point. Bump formation on the outsides. Alaska to throw, covered well. Cochran floats one, incomplete. They covered those slant routes really well, Charles, on the London side.
Yeah, the downfield coverage was great, but also that 4-man rush was able to make Cochran move around in the pocket. You can see that was kind of an awkward throw coming out of Cochran's hands.
5:53 to go left here in the 4th. A big 3rd down and 7 from the Storm 40-yard line. 3-3 look out of the London Knights. Cochran, 5-step drop, wants the deep ball again. This time it's defended well by Evan Arthur. Got burnt on the last drive. On this drive, he says, not today. We're getting the ball back.
Yeah, there's no way Arthur's going to let that happen to him twice. He expected the bomb to Optimus Klein, and he was in great coverage there. Really big stand for the London defense.
You have your chance to go from couch to field, the opportunity to make your player this Wednesday and Thursday. You can sign on to an SFL roster and become a player on one of these teams. Have your name called out on TV when you make a big play. All you have to do is head over to simulationfl.net and join our Discord. Good return here out to the 29, and with 5:40 to go in the 4th, London is going to take back over. You can also follow the SFL on social media. Keep up to date with when our games are. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at SimulationFL, and use our hashtag Make an Impact. We keep an eye on Twitter all week long, and we'd love to interact with you guys. All right, 1st and 10. Roby in the shotgun, down by 10. Will look to throw. Quick out route there is caught by Trevor Farrell. His first catch of the day goes for 6.
Yeah, I still think they're going to need to keep Streeter in there at least a couple runs. Maybe I know that the time's ticking away here, but Streeter's the type of guy. If you give him the ball in the backfield with receivers wide, he can cause a lot of damage there with that one-on-one with the defender.
3 wide receivers split out for Roby. 2 tight ends on the line. I believe that's Reggie Streeter lined up offside to the left. Quick out route there is caught, and out of bounds will stop the clock, but short of the 1st down marker. The catch is made by James Hands.
I hate to sound like a broken record, but another big 3rd down here. London's got to get this.
Speaking of broken records, 3rd and inches might be a good time for Reggie Streeter to see the ball.
Definitely.
5 minutes to go in the 4th. They will line up in a heavy formation. A nice screen out of this formation would pick up the 1st down up to that top-hand side. Instead, they will hand to Streeter, and he's cut down in the backfield. What a play by the Alaska Storm. Jason Julian, outside linebacker, comes up and makes a huge hit. It's 4th and 1, and it might be 4-down territory time.
Yeah, I think it is 4-down territory there, and what a stop of Streeter. One-on-one tackle. That's hard to do against Streeter.
Incredibly hard. Now, 4th and 1 from the 39. Roby in the shotgun will throw. Roby, deep shot, and it's picked off. Evan Carroll, his 2nd of the game. And what a time to take it away. Alaska has the ball back at the 49.
Yeah, big play by Evan Carroll. He read the pass, read the play, the entire progression. I a little surprised why he went deep on that pass. It looked like he had 2 receivers on both flats wide open.
My thought is, the interception isn't the worst thing in the world. Alaska actually ends up with worse field position than if Evan Carroll would have just batted that thing into the ground. So there's a little bit of an opportunity for a deep shot, Charles. If it gets picked, at least you're punting.
Yeah, but you're giving the ball back to Alaska, which is one of the best teams in the SFL for grinding down the clock.
True. If you had an open opportunity, I was watching the shotgun from Roby, not necessarily the out routes, but a good point by you. If you have the open throw, you should definitely make it. Doyle on first down will pick up 3, so clock will roll under 4 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter of this game. And London desperately needs a stop, and they can't really let up a first down or more. Otherwise, Dahoud will attempt a field goal. 3-3 look out of London. Cochran is going to bleed this clock as much as he can. Run up the middle will bring up 3rd and 2. Doyle a good carry, and this is the down right here, Charles. I tell you what, if they can't get off the field here, this one might be out of their hands.
Yeah, I wouldn't even. Yeah, if I was Alaska, I wouldn't even think about throwing it on this one. You just got to run it, and at a minimum, you're going to force London to burn a timeout to stop the clock, maybe.
The chat wanted a horse collar on that first down call, and I saw it. I don't know if it was the right call, but it wasn't called, and Alaska will continue the drive here. 3rd and 2. Ron Cochran going to take this clock all the way down. 2 seconds before the snap. Handoff Doyle, right side. Doyle trying to stretch it out, and London makes the play. Washington was there along with Jeff Malinishin coming up from the strong safety spot. A good tackle, and it'll be 4th and 3, and Alaska's going to have to punt. They're way outside of field goal range.
It looked like Doyle was waiting for the hole to open, and it just didn't happen. London had that covered from the snap and wasn't able to get any yards there. Big stop by London. Yet another big stop by London.
On this side of the 2-minute warning, that is a pivotal stop if London can score quickly. Alaska brings on the punting unit, but they're still going to let this clock roll before Julian Tutu gets the punt off. London came after it, could not get the block. This one is going to bounce again, and be dropped within the 10-yard line down to the London 7. They are going to be backed up, Charles.
That was a big special teams play. Given the ball to London on the 7-yard line, they got a long field to go, and it looks like they're going to be a little more dependent on the pass here, and that's dangerous going up against this Alaska secondary. As I said at the beginning of the game, I think they're very underrated in the SFL, and as they start to lock down in that secondary, it's going to be hard to get a completion.
They'll have 1 or 2 plays before this 2-minute warning, depending on how quickly they throw. It should just be 1. Roby checked down in the middle of the field to Streeter. Oh, Streeter clocked right there at the 12. What a hit. And that will take us to the 2-minute warning. A 10-point difference in Anchorage, Alaska. The Simulation Football League presented by APM Music. We'll be right back after the break on 11 Sports. Back in Anchorage, Alaska, 120 seconds, 2 minutes on the clock. From the 12, London is going to need to score, and they're going to need to do it fast if they want to get back in this game down by 10. Rob Roby looking to throw, checks down to Reggie Streeter, and that was not the throw you wanted to make.
Yeah, I think he heard the heat coming from a rush standpoint and had to get rid of that ball.
And not the call you want to make. They take a timeout.
Right.
You wanted to save those timeouts for in case the onside did not go your way and your defense needed some stops. You would at least have a chance on the other side, but now...
Yep. Maybe he wanted to bring in another set of personnel on this play.
Yeah, now you're going to need this first down conversion, or you need a touchdown on this drive, then you need to get the onside kick. Roby to throw, out route here, caught by Streeter, turning upfield, and he gets out of bounds at the 19 and stops the clock.
I think the defense is going to give him, the short, to maybe even to some extent the medium pass. Maybe try and force him in the middle so they can burn up the clock as well.
Well, a philosophy thought for you here, Charles. Another idea is get right in field goal range and immediately run out the kicker and kick the field goal to put yourself in it even further. Don't waste any time trying to get to the end zone once you get past the 45. Then on the onside, if you get it, just try the Hail Mary. Lots of different ways to go about it. Here's an out route that is caught. Nice play on the sideline. Trevor Farrell stepped out of bounds with 1:45. I tell you what, they're working this sideline.
Yeah, they definitely are. He barely got out of bounds on that play, but that was a good, nice, safe play here for get him the first down. But I think they're going to need to try and go a little deeper here on the next couple plays.
I formation, twins in. Twins eye. They will line up in a 3-4 on the Alaska side. Not what you were looking for, I think, with this formation. You were probably looking for a 4-4 to come out where you can take a deep shot. Roby will take the deep shot anyways. Oh! He was on the back of the defender. Donnie Hands looked like he might have got held up a little. No call there, though. They'll let him play.
Yeah, let him play. I mean, I've been on the wrong end of penalties at the end of games.
I trust me, my heart hurts as much as yours does. Second
It just
and
might
10.
have been with one of the teams on this field.
For any of you who don't know, Vancouver played Alaska a couple weeks ago, had a late pass interference penalty that essentially ended the game. Rob Roby looking to throw, takes a deep shot here to Streeter, incomplete. They were nifty to get Streeter out of the backfield there, but on the Alaska side, I.B. Lurkin, the free safety, was there to make the play.
Yeah, he was definitely lurking. They've got the entire secondary deep waiting for passes just like that, and they were lucky they didn't get an interception out of that.
And the chat wanted the pass interference on the last call. Liam Crowder, Doug Day calling for it. Eddie Gage says it was a clean play. Interesting across the board, some mixed results, but either way, now 3rd and 10. The drive continues. Roby in the shotgun here will definitely take a shot somewhere. Roby moves up in the pocket, throws. I thought he was behind the line, completes to Streeter, gets a couple yards. The penalty flag is thrown, and we've seen play.
Yeah,
Quarterback's foot was behind the line.
Yeah, that's questionable.
All you need is 1 foot behind the line to make a forward throw. They call it an illegal forward pass. I wouldn't be a bit surprised. And Charles, we know this because Vancouver was called for one of these. We know you can challenge that call on the field. I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see Smith do it here with 2 timeouts. What have you got to lose?
I'm getting flashbacks here.
Oh, the booth will review it. We're under 2 minutes. Sorry, excuse me. My rule book needs to be brushed up a little bit. The booth will review whether he was in front of or behind the line.
Yeah, my vote is he was behind the line, but we'll see.
We'll take a look here. Well behind the line. They are very quick to call that one. Probably on the preventive side. They know they can always go take a look at it. And so this one will be overturned, and London will get the ball move forward a little bit.
Yeah, no surprise. That was clear.
So it'll still be a 4th down play. The difference is only 4, though, instead of a solid 10 from the London 35. Minute and a half to go. This essentially could be your ball game if London does not pick it up. They could attempt some late game heroics, but an important down here. Roby in the shotgun, takes a deep shot, caught down the middle of the field, breaking tackle across the 30, and a timeout taken. It was a big shot, and James Hands hauled it in.
Yeah, I was a little surprised that Alaska played so far up there on defense. I thought maybe they would have, I hate to say give them the first down, but I was surprised they weren't expecting that long pass.
35
I mean, it's okay to get beaten short, but
I agree.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, Alaska right now is playing the clock. They're not playing London. You need to just have that clock hit 0 if you're Alaska, especially now with London at just 1 timeout. And this is the point, Charles, that I would have thought about lining up the field goal unit.
Yeah, but I think they're kind of on the edge right here. Maybe another 5 to 10 before I would try something like that.
Understandable. Roby, low shotgun snap, moves in the pocket, sacked. He's going to move farther out of field goal range, courtesy of Alex Dominguez. Throwing here, Roby, deep shot, picked, intercepted the other way. It's an interception for Ryan Tobin, I believe his 2nd of the game, and that should seal it. A Ryan Tobin interception, and London is going to fall to Alaska, barring a miracle.
Yeah, Tobin, when he goes to the sideline, he's going to look over at Carroll and say, hey, you got 2. Guess how many I have? 4 interceptions for that secondary. Very, very well done.
1 minute and 8 seconds left in the game, and a Alaska interception will pretty much end this ball game. Charles, they called some early timeouts that we thought they might have been better served to keep them in their back pocket. Tried a deep shot, and it was intercepted by Ryan Tobin.
Yeah, a lot of credit there to the Alaska secondary. Again, I think they're underrated, but 4 interceptions against Roby today. They really did a great job, especially in the second half when they needed to.
London will fall to 500. Alaska will improve to 6-2, but don't go anywhere. More SFL football is on the way. Denver at Charleston is next on 11 Sports. And then later tonight, Vancouver, Tallahassee, Houston, and Tulsa should be a good game as well. And Atlanta and Queen City. So, Charles, for London, they started out hot this season and now have struggled a little bit down the stretch. And 500 going to be heading into next week.
Well, you could say that the defenses of the Simulation Football League are adjusting and trying to key in on Streeter as much as they can and forcing them to get beat by the other players on the London offense, like Hands and Farrell.
Well, and on this game specifically, it looked like Alaska just jumped out in front quick enough to where Reggie Streeter got used less and less. Only the 16 carries for Streeter, 133 yards. Averaged 8.3 per carry, but it's hard to go to him when you're down by so much.
Yeah, definitely. But you can throw to him as well, and he's shown to be a deadly receiver out of the backfield.
10 receptions, 58 yards, 26 all-purpose touches for Reggie Streeter. On the Alaska side, Ron Cochran, 31 of 41, a complete game, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions for Ron Cochran. Optimus Klein, 161 yards on 10 catches for 3 touchdowns. Jeff Lowe was running the stats. Jeff, we appreciate that. Charles, your final thoughts and pick a player of the game for us.
But that player of the game is going to be tough. I mean, between Cochran and Klein on the offense, you could also, possibly give it to either Carroll or Tobin for the 2 picks apiece. I'm leaning more towards Cochran. I think anytime you throw 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, and complete almost 76% of your passes, I think you should be a shoo-in for player of the game.
It was a tough game all across the board, and we knew that coming in. One of the league's premier rushers against one of the league's premier passers, Ron Cochran going against Reggie Streeter. For anyone who enjoyed today's broadcast and wants to know, hey, how can I be a professional football player on the field? I never got to realize those dreams. All you have to do is head over to simulationfl.net, you click join Discord. You can join our Discord community, become a player. This week, Wednesday and Thursday, you have an opportunity to sign to a Simulation Football League team, the opportunity to get on the field and make a difference, make an impact on some of these games, make an impact for a team heading down. We're getting closer to playoff time, Charles. These games matter more and more as we go. Next week will be week 9, but plenty of week 8 action continues here on 11 Sports all day today. But this was a great way to start this day of football off.
Yeah, London, they hung in there up until the late fourth quarter, and they lost. They're 4-4 now, and it doesn't get any easier for them. They go to Atlanta next week, and then the following week they have Denver, so they could be possibly looking at a 4-6 record.
Still plenty of time in the season for things to shift in the SFL standings, but Alaska continues with only 2 losses this season to be one of the premier teams in the Simulation Football League. And now the player of the game, Optimus Klein, gets it, 10 receptions, 161 yards, 3 touchdowns. And I was going to say, Charles, his deep touchdown down the sideline was really the dagger. And that'll be it for the Simulation Football League broadcast today. Continues on 11 Sports. Stick with us. Thank you to everyone who produced the game.